to the final of the BPL, and on commentary tonight I am Daniel McGee and I am here with
Michael O'Mara.
And we're really looking forward to this final, Michael. We've got a great match here to start off tonight. We've got David Walsh up against Dylan Noble, and it's love all play.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting match. Dylan's our current national senior singles champion. I think David will be very keen to test himself and see can he take him down tonight. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah, and I guess in these type of finals, the first match is really important, and you know, when you get that little bit of momentum going from the Welcome back to our coverage. Apologies for the slight breakdown in the streaming, but
So I think the key is going to be just kind of try and take the net and force the lift, and I think David did that very well in the first set. So let's see how Dylan responds.
yeah, and as you said, David not taking any chances. You've seen there at 9-6, he used his first of his power plays, so he really wanted to get that first game done and dusted. Dylan did really well to hold his nerve, but unfortunately he wasn't able to capitalise on the power play that he saved. But he still has 2 power plays to use later in the match, so let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think you'll find David just a couple of uncharacteristically unforced errors there from Dylan, so I think you'll see David just trying to keep the shuttle in play with decent margins, and you know, we'll see how it goes, but that seems to be his tactic.
Dylan's ready for the smash, and David's playing over. He's mixing his angles and mixing his attack and rally play up really well. So Dylan not settling him, David throwing a lot of different things at him here.
Yeah, I think as you said, Dan, he's mixing it very well. Dylan making quite a few unforced errors, which is unlike him, probably not helped by the fact that it's a fast haul and maybe that he realises he lost the first set, so there's more pressure on him. But yeah, it's really a question of Dylan kind of settling himself down and into this game now, and getting back into it. And you see David there, as you said, mixing it nicely, lifting cross court around the head. You know, and he's got the comfort of knowing that he's one set up and he's 6-2 up as well. So, you know, just nothing special needed from David here now. Just keep the shuttle in play and don't make errors.
Yeah, and just another one there from around the head side. Dylan smashing into the net. Even the one before that at 2-6, you see when he got the left from the spin, he played into the middle, so playing safe at the minute because just hasn't quite found his range. Where David has settled in very well to the final here so far. Have to say, Mike, a great turnout tonight for the BPL final. It's really well set up with all of the Premier League branding and We see Derek Cray on the umpire chair there, along with Guy Wooden as the service judge. So it's quite the spectacle when they turn that up like this.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I think at the end of the day, it is all about the players, and that's that's why even as an umpire myself, we turn up. I think the BPL committee deserve massive credit. I think the youth, the Yaks, as we know them, the youth activity committee, deserve great credit as well, because Leinster's had a phenomenal year, Dan, as you well know, at all levels. But I think as well, if you look down through the players that are playing in the BPL final tonight, there's quite a few of them that have come through the Leinster juvenile ranks. So the Yaks, as we know them, the youth activities committee, deserve unbelievable credit, and there's far too many people to mention. To start mentioning people individually, but huge credit.
Yeah, and a nice touch by them to award those kids with a recognition at the start of the BPL finals, and gets them down here to watch the senior players as well, and to learn what it's like to play in these big pressure situations. So really well organised event, and a great touch from the youth committee.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. As the song says, the children are our future. That certainly when it comes to the game, the kids, and there's so many really impressive young kids here tonight watching, which hopefully will inspire them to feel that they can be on court here in the next couple of years.
And we're at game point here in the second game. David Walsh, after winning the first one 11-8, has 5 game points. No need for a power play at the minute for him. So let's see if Dylan can save this, and maybe he might get a chance to use his power play in this game.
Yeah, it's certainly. We were speaking beforehand, and I felt it would be a close game, but I did have my money on David, not by much, and you did too. But I've been quite surprised at the way it's turned out. I think Dylan has just made an awful lot of unforced errors. But look, you have your nights,
11-8, 11-5. So a good start for David, and we have Adam McAllister, a man who's featured in a number of national finals, out coaching David Walsh here. And on the far side we've got Omar along with Keith Frost, both coaching Dylan. So there's players with great experience here out helping their teammates, and it's always good to have a bit of guidance in these big matches.
Yeah, absolutely. You always wonder what advice has been given in situations like this. I think for up-and-coming coaches, they're always wanting to know, what do you say, and so on and so forth. If I was talking to David now, I would just be saying, David, more of the same.
Absolutely. And in the last few points, we did see Dylan start to settle in a little bit more, so maybe he might find his way now in this third game, and he can work his way back into it. So, there we go.
Yeah, it's I think David would like to finish this obviously in 3 sets, because if Dylan gets the next set, then he will obviously have found his way into the game, and suddenly David might be in a battle. So even though he's 2 up, anything can still happen. But I think for Dylan, he's got to cut down on the error count. He's got to look to take the net for me, and as you know, Dan, because you see him train a lot, he's got quite a good hit. So I would be looking to keep the shuttle towards the centre of the court, take the net, and just look to use his power.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the one thing. He has a really good aggressive style once he ups his tempo, once he plays to that speed. So it just has to get that into his game now.
Probably lifting a little bit too much from the net for me, Dylan. As I said, I saw him play in the Nationals this year, and I was quite surprised by suddenly realising that he really does hit it. So if you really can hit it in a hole like this, you've got to play your spins at the net and force the lift.
We talked about unforced errors from Dylan at the start. Now David, he had a right smile on his face after he missed the first one. He was trying a little bit of an exhibition shot, and then there just a simple spin. So suddenly Dylan is in control, and it's David that has given him the easy errors.
Yeah, and I think what you've seen there is Dylan certainly not playing close to any of the lines. And there's that power we spoke about, Dan, a fabulous, almost a stick smash, 2 feet inside the line, which is, where he needs to be, and he's 4 love up and looking very strong. We could be could be in for a longer game than we thought.
And you've seen that one that lifted the corner. It was still a little bit behind him, but he's got really, really good forearm strength, so he was able to, produce that power, and Dave wasn't able to get a racket on it. So let's hope that we can see more of that. But definitely in this third game, we've seen a lot of unforced errors from David, which we've seen very few of in the opening two games.
Yeah, well, I don't think he didn't get a chance to make unforced errors, because I think Dylan was the one who was making them for him. So yeah, look, 5-2. It's great to see our Badminton Europe accredited umpire in the chair tonight, Derek Cray. Derek's gained huge experience in the last year or so at different Badminton Europe events, and we've got Guy Wheeler as well, who's very experienced as a service judge. So always good to have the officials, technical officials, in attendance, because as I said, it is about the players, Dan, as you well know. And it's a fantastic arena tonight.
Really good read from Dylan, and opened up into his round the head side there, using his power well, and it's those longer smashes almost back into the back trams that David, maybe his base is a little bit too high, and that's why he's getting caught out there.
There we go. Yeah, I think the tactics should be somewhat similar for both of them. I think, Dylan in particular hits a really good smash, so I think if you're David, you're trying not to lift it, and you saw them both looking to control the net there, which Dylan won.
That was a great little cross net by Dylan there in the end. Unfortunately. Yeah, big smash from
Yeah, so it looks like...
Oh, using the power play. Interesting use of the power play. 9-3. Doesn't want to take a chance to let David back into the game. Sometimes that's a good decision. But if you're 2 games down, you might need it later, but you can't always take the chance that it's going to get to later.
Yeah, no, I think it's the right call. I think...
put a game on the board.
Yeah. And I think you make these calls sometimes, and they may not work out, but doesn't mean it was the wrong call. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, because if Dave keeps back into it, it's going to increase more and more pressure when you're 2 games to 0 down. So it is nice to just get that bit of relief and get into the next game. But it was well saved by David. But there, David did everything right. Fast, aggressive, onto the chest. But a good over the top from Dylan.
So here we are at set point in the third set for Dylan to really find his way back into this game. There he is using that power again, then smash the body.
Well, that was the one that you wanted him to do more of, was to try and use that body and use his big power, keep it a little bit safer, but be aggressive. And I think in this game, that's what he did, and he saw the reward for that in the end.
I think sometimes maybe players think that to be aggressive you have to be hitting for lines, but you actually don't. You don't get extra points for hitting a line, as you well know. The centre line is as good as any line to hit a smash down, Yeah,
there's Adam out. Adam, a very good singles player as well, and he could also feature in the singles, but this time I think he's being used in the doubles in the mix because he's versatile. We're back again here. Sorry, we just had a small drop in the stream again, but it's game on with 6-8 and a really good use of a power play at 4-8 from Dylan Noble to try and get himself back into this opening game of the finals night here. And there he's pulled another point to make it 7-8. and it's got very interesting all of a sudden, Mike.
Yeah, that was a very big point there, and as you were talking, I was thinking, who's gonna? It's either going to be 9-6 or 8-7. And you wouldn't be betting against 5 sets at this stage, Dan.
No, and the BPL format, those power plays can come in like crucial, and Dylan used it at a really important time. But just, yeah, I thought that one on our screen, that one looked in. So
yeah, it did, yeah.
And fair play to David. He overruled the umpire and said that it landed in. Aggressive play by David Walsh, pressing the body of Dylan, but Dylan guiding the away. He was really ready there. And all of a sudden, a game that looked like it was almost wrapped up at 8-4 is now 9-8 to Dylan. And it shows the fun part of the BPL format, where the power plays make such a big difference. And wide again off the sideline, and suddenly it's game point to Dylan Noble. It'll be interesting to see if Dave wins this. Does he go for the power play and we'll have a double game point?
I think he probably has to go for...
Soft error there from Dave. And here we are, we're going into the final game. 2 games all.
Who would have thought it?
Yeah. And absolutely, Dylan played a very, very good game from a very difficult position, trailing at 8-4. Good use of the power play, and then was really solid in the next number of points to get himself into the final game here. David also holding a power play for the final set, so that will make an exciting power play.
Yeah, I think 2 things I would say. One, I think it's kind of a game thus far of 2 Dylans. The first 2 sets, a lot of unforced errors. The second 2 sets, an awful lot steadier, a lot better, a lot more less rust, if you like. And I think the second thing is, I think there's been a lot of mistakes from both parties. Dylan in the first 2 and David in the second 2. So
yeah,
it's 2-all. Dan, I'm going to put you on the spot here now. I'm going to ask you to call it. Slight advantage for David because he has a power play.
Yeah. It's going to be down. I think it is going to be down to who can
momentum.
Yeah, who can hold the consistent play for the longer period of time. But you'd have to give Dave the slight advantage here because he has that power play. If he
would you see any advantage from Licker ends, or is there any faster end there?
No,
not really.
I think Whitehall plays very similar both sides, so it'll be interesting to see. But the start of this game is going to be crucial. Oh, that's a really good round ahead from David. Just to settle himself in.
Yeah, of course, one or 2 points either way here, Dan, can tell a very different story and put a very different perspective on this match. But I think what's going to be interesting is when David goes for his power play.
Yeah, and there'll be a change of sides at 6, so who's going to have the momentum going into the interval in the last game here?
The last set, I think, and you saw it just there again, I think David is probably lifting a little bit unnecessary from the net. I would prefer to see him just play the spin rather than lift too much, as soon as I say it, Dylan's course.
Yeah. But Dylan was really high up there. I like that, especially in these final games. I feel that you need to be aggressive like that, and again, you see that aggressive. Really his game coming together nicely here in this final game.
But again, you see probably what could be called an unnecessary lift. I mean, you've got to be very careful lifting to Dylan. He's got such a big power smash. Yeah, there's a lot of unforced errors down.
Absolutely, and I suppose that's natural in a first game of a finals night where there's so many people here and there's a lot of stuff on the line. So really nice.
I do think the neutrals do need a Dylan Noble win here, because I think we had said earlier that if Montpellier were going to look to win this, they needed Dylan to win this. If he does, then we've a great match in hand.
Going on what we had predicted on paper, this was going to be a very important match for both teams. So that was good by Dylan, but a nervous lead from David there.
Yeah.
It's not one of those ones at that point of the match that you should be leaving. You should really be looking to
There's
make
another lift.
Got away with it that time.
Yeah, I'm just quite surprised that David just continues to lift into the back corners, because Dylan has such power. I think he'd be much safer just blocking to the centre of the net.
I guess just in the opening games, when Dylan was smashing wide, that tactic was working, but Dylan's found his range now. Really good. And here we are. We're at interval 6-3. Be interesting to see how long Dave leaves it before he uses that power play, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact that power play has on this game.
So I think what you'd be saying to Dylan now is just keep going as you are. What I would be saying to David is just take the net a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just you got to take the net a little bit more, because when he puts it in the air, it seems to be easy enough to lift out in the back corners, but also when he lifts, you know, Dylan has got a lot of power, and it's not, you know, I don't think it's the right tactic. Another lift.
With the lift. That time being more aggressive, high on the table. Playing down, and again, yeah, maybe he's starting to think about it. Brilliant.
Very good get from Dylan. Fantastic get. That could be a match-winning get, Dan.
Absolutely.
Really could be a match-winning get.
So important, that one. And he was a full stretch. It was actually a very good shot from David, really accurate, but Dylan using his reach.
So Dan, it's getting to that, I was just going to say, it's getting to that time where he needs to use it, and he's done it.
You have to. I think when you're trailing 4-7 and you know, you're running out of time, you don't want to leave it too late. You don't want to go off court without having used all of your power plays.
Absolutely.
And we have seen it throughout the BPL league where people have gone off and haven't used it.
He's tried to spin it, but he's just made a mistake. And it's a costly mistake, Dan, unfortunately.
Yeah, really good maturity from Dylan here to come from 2-0 down and to turn the game around the way he has. It's great to see, because you know, he's a good bit younger than Dave, and he's been under pressure 2 games to 0 down, making a lot of unforced errors, to becoming a lot more steady and playing a really nice aggressive style of badminton.
To be fair, he looked...
look at that again. Excellent.
Yeah, you wouldn't have put any money on him after the first 2 sets. He did look under a lot of pressure, and yeah, to be fair to him, you know, he's got into the game.
Shown great character.
Yeah, you got to give it to him, you know. He's 9-4 up now, and he did not look like he was going to win this. But as they say, Dan, Fat Lady isn't singing yet.
No, it's never over till it's over. And Dave, as we did say, he's got a lot of experience. He'll try and make this game as tight as possible, and then make Dylan think, you know, what I have to do to get over the line here. Another good shot, very accurate, and it's starting to get very exciting. This is where you would love to have a third power play, pull it out and use it, but it's going to be one on merit now in these last few points.
I think he's just a little too far back, Dan.
There's a tactic that you wanted to see earlier.
Just take the net. Yeah. There's the problem. There's the problem.
Yeah, it's costing him the match.
Costing him every time he lifts from the net. And it's probably a lot harder to see on the TV than if you were courtside to appreciate how hard Dylan's actually hitting.
Yeah.
And in fairness, David hits quite hard too, but you don't want to be lifting against Dylan. You really don't.
No. First match point of the night here. And there it is. An 11-6 win.
A fantastic win by Dylan Noble, to be fair. It wasn't looking at all likely, and you can see it in his fist clenching there. He's chuffed, and I think Danny's got every right to be. He's given his team from the jaws of defeat. He has snatched victory. Yeah, really good turnaround, and again, quite a nervous start from both players, making a lot of unforced errors in the opening game. But I really like the way Dylan became more aggressive. He took the net, used his power, but not only the power of his smashes, he's actually been very accurate with them. You've seen David wasn't even getting a racket on most of those smashes that were going straight down the line. So he started with a lot of mistakes, but now he's doing really well. Yeah, you know, he was 2 sets down, and he needed to make something work. And I often heard Paul O'Connell, former Munster and Rugby and Lions captain, talking about you make it work. you just make it work, and Dylan absolutely made it work there for himself. And I think, yeah, hats off to Dylan Noble. I mean, just looking at the score, Dan, 11-8, 11-5, looking dead and buried, 4-8 and 6, and that's his team will be delighted.
Yeah, really positive. As we said, you know, a big year for Dylan this year, winning his first ever senior national championships, and performed extremely well that weekend out in the National Indoor Arena. I think you were involved. Maybe did you umpire that final?
Yeah, I actually umpired the very first match Dylan played in that. It was against Pranav Arukatil, and I was heading to the chair, I was with the players behind me. I was wondering, okay, how is this going to go? I thought, yeah, it'll be a decent, close match. And Dylan absolutely wiped the floor with it. And the thing that struck me from the umpire's chair was just the power he had, down, the ability to put it on the floor was something I just almost hadn't seen from him before. So, you know, I think at this age, a year makes a big difference, you know.
Yeah, and especially out there in the indoor arena, it's a slow haul. So if you can still produce big power, then you know that you've got some good raw power to use. Right, Michael, who do we have up here next?
Yeah, we've got the ladies singles match. So representing Pembroke Panthers is Sarah Boyle, former senior international and former national champion, and representing Mount Pleasant is Anastasia Shurokovskaya. And Dan, we know who her other half is, don't we?
We do indeed, yes. A legend of Mount Pleasant badminton, Mr. Willie Lacey. So he is here in attendance tonight. And
supporting his other half.
Yeah, absolutely. And
we all have to do that, Dan, don't we? Support our other half.
That's it, for sure. And yeah, it's great to see you know, this matchup today. You would have to say Sarah would be the favourite here, being an outright singles player. Anastasia has featured a lot more in doubles and in mixed doubles in some of the other matches, but she's going out there to face Sarah tonight, so it will be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, so we have Sarah Boyle against Anastasia Shurokovskaya. So yeah, I think you'd have to go for Sarah. You'd probably have to go for Sarah, maybe in 3 sets, maybe 4 sets. But I think this match should be nice and level after this match, Dan. But listen, stranger things have happened.
So a 1-0 lead for Mount Pleasant Mavericks, and that does make the final a very interesting final. Yes. And gives Mount Pleasant that little bit of momentum to start off. It'll be a tough match for Nastia here. Sarah is another very versatile player. She features in the mixed later on, but she's performed very well both in the domestic scene and internationally. In singles, she's had finals and doubles on the circuit as well, and also tonight she features in mixed, and she's a very good mixed player, very dangerous with that left hand, and herself and Adam will be a force to be reckoned with. But another interesting match as they face Dylan Noble and Kate Frost later on tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a very, very interesting one. You know, I mean, Kate Frost is very experienced. Dylan, you know, has a lot of power, which is very useful in mix. So it's going to be important that Adam and Sarah, when we get to that stage, just keep the shot nice and low and play lots of neutral badminton and not lift it. But anyway, here we go. Sarah Boyle to serve. First blood to Sarah Boyle, and in the umpire's chair tonight is Yera Castillo, from Spain but living in Ireland now. He's one of our own, and his service judge none other than Niamh McKeown.
Yeah, Niamh has done great work, and along with Phil here, who does the work on the streaming for all of the BPL matches, and of course the BPL final here tonight. I believe Connor is even behind the bar.
Connor is behind the bar, yes indeed, yeah. You have to say both girls tonight very mobile, very agile, physically athletically very good, which is, as you know, very important for ladies singles.
Yeah, one thing that I've been really impressed in any time I've been behind the coach's chair for Sarah when we've gone away in Irish team trips in the past is her core coverage is fantastic, and her the way that she can run down the shuttle is really good. Where she would have struggled maybe at the top elite level was having that big power to finish the shot, that she was able to set up a winning shot and then sometimes didn't capitalize on it. But she does great angles, and the running ability has made her, you know, contest with some of the really top girls out there on the circuit.
Yeah, the fact that she's left-handed as well gives her that extra. You know, I always think left-handers have either got incredible touch or incredible power, and if you're unlucky, they've got both. She's got very good touch. May not have be blessed with awesome power, but she does hit good angles as a lefty, and that can always cause problems. But Sarah Boyle 6-2 up, 7-2 up. It's kind of going the way we had expected it, Dan.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Anastasia, and again, what we've said before, a lot of her matches and throughout the year in the league, she's been playing doubles and mixed.
Yeah.
And she'll play a mixed later on tonight, and you'll see that she's probably a lot more comfortable on that court.
Yeah, you can kind of see, like, even that serve there was incredibly short. And against someone like Sarah, even though she's not blessed with massive power, you've got to serve. It's got to be decent. So it's something for Anastasia just to be conscious of, and maybe it shows the fact that she's not naturally a singles player either, Dan. You know.
Yeah, but one thing that she does have, and that's you see it in the doubles, and you'll see it in her mixed doubles later. She's physically very strong, and she's got a good smash and good power from the backcourt. So I think it's Marin that she plays with later on, so he'll have the luxury where he can go forward and take on the net, and Anastasia will then look to use her power from the rear court. A little bit of luck there off the frame.
It all counts, Dan, it all counts, as you well know. You're allowed to use the frame, I always say.
Yeah, a bit more length on the serve that time, Mike.
I think the high serve is more effective in women's singles than men, because, you know, if you leave it anywhere short against someone like Dylan, you're going to pay the price, but you're likely to get away with it in ladies.
Sarah giving away a very easy net kill there. I think she just tried to play a little bit too safe, but it's now become a more interesting game. 6-10, maybe 1 more point, 2 more points. Use the power play, you never know.
It does just go to show, Dan, that if you keep the shuttle in play, you've always got a chance. She kept the shuttle in play there. She did nothing. She kept it in play. She won the point.
No, I think you know, Anastasia's done a great job there, because, you know, Sarah is an established singles player, very mobile, as we both talked about, and you'd have to say generally is a very consistent singles player. So you know, Anastasia has kept the shot on the court. She's worked it around the court well. She's taken her chances when she's had them. A couple of things like you had mentioned, if she can get a bit more length on that serve, puts her on the back line and try and create some winners that way as well.
Yeah, we see David Walsh having come off, and to give him credit, he's just come off a game where he's probably very disappointed, but there he is out coaching Sarah Boyle, so, you know, hats off to him.
Yeah, he's a great team player. I've been lucky to go away with him for a number of Leinster trips and take him away on trips when he was a junior player as well, so always a good team player, and very committed to any team that he travels with.
Yeah, I've never been on an away trip with Dave, probably because he's so much younger than I am, mainly. But I'm sure you have, Dan.
Yeah, no, he's an excellent team player.
I have to say, you have to give Anastasia credit. You know, she's, in one sense, she probably knows she's maybe taken one for the team tonight, but she's given everything out there, and I think she's doing herself great credit, Dan, to be fair.
Yeah, and again, she's she's doing the right thing and trying to play the right way. Where she'll struggle is, in doubles, when you're using your big power smash and you've got a partner to cover for you, and suddenly this time you use that big power and instead of it to across and you have to make that long diagonal movement of the court. You know yourself, Mike, from playing doubles and mixed doubles and then going back and playing an odd singles match, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Good lift, good tempo lift, 2 good tempo lifts in a row. Yeah, going for the stop up this time, and there's that power that Anastasia has. She can get out of trouble from the backcourt, but maybe just a little bit too hard to try to go over the top that time, because Sarah had pressed her quite deep.
Yeah, Anastasia probably just needs, when she hits rear court, just to recover a little bit quicker to the centre. But to be fair, Dan, she really is up against, I don't know what grade Anastasia is, but Sarah Boyle is a premier player and there's not too many of them around, so I think she's doing really well.
Yeah, and I love the attitude, fighting for every point, running down as fast as she can in the shuttle, and she's like doing her best to win the game, and that's all you can ask of anybody when you're out playing in these finals. But a commanding lead, and all players still with all 4 power plays still to be used. Good reach there for Anastasia, but again, just the follow up on the net from Sarah Boyle, just too much for Anastasia.
It's great to see so many of the young kids, the underage Leinster kids here tonight, getting their little awards. And as I said, the Youth Activities Committee deserve massive credit. They're certainly the envy of the other provinces, certainly us in Munster, when we see them just winning everything from, the Celtic Challenges to the Interpros, and doing well in over in knots in the under 18s. It's great to see so many kids here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a commanding lead there for Pembroke Panthers. Another 11-6, 11-1 win for Sarah Boyle. David out again, and as you said earlier, he's probably saying, let's just keep this momentum going here, don't try and do anything other than what you're doing. Kate probably saying to Anastasia, mix it up, do something that's going to take Sarah by surprise, because if she tries to beat her just playing this rally style game, sometimes you just got to admit when a player does that style better than you, and then you've got to try and find a solution or try and take them out of their comfort zone a little bit. So maybe use a body smash, maybe jump their serve, do something just to make them feel a little bit uncomfortable. But we'll see what kind of ideas that Anastasia comes up with here.
Yeah, I think it was a very steep hill for her to climb from Laval in the first set, because as I said, she is up against a girl who's a former singles and doubles national champion in 1 year.
There we go. I said throw a body smash, do something, and I know Kate's a clever coach as well, so she's probably come up with some ways to try and get these quick points, not let Sarah get into the longer rallies. Oh, well done again. Yeah, 2-0 lead, so we've got to hand it to Kate Frost there. She's got Anastasia playing with some aggression here to start this third game.
I think the serving needs to be looked at as well. The long serving, it's very, very short, and it's getting her in trouble. Dan, she's well done. She's really working very hard there. She's keeping the ball in play. She's making Sarah work for it, and she's 3-love up.
Yeah, running down every shot and being aggressive with her playing style. Because Sarah opened up the rally really well in the previous one with the stop drop. Again, the serve really short.
I was just about to say, Dan, would you have gone for a power play there, which would have given her 5-love up? But on a serve like that,
Yeah, and I would have. The answer to that one is I would have. If I was playing against an opponent that I felt that was a stronger opponent than me, and especially if I was 2-0 down, I would use it just to try and put a bit of pressure on them.
The other thing I would say to Anastasia, I would say to her,
that's in again.
I think you should be thrown in a few short serves just to see how they work, because her high serves they're quite short, and you just don't know that you suddenly change tactic and serve short. Suddenly you win 3 points.
Yeah, I would love to see her win this point and then use the power play, trying to apply a bit of pressure onto Sarah, because when you're 7-2 down, you start to think a little bit more.
Yeah, I have to say she's doing really, really well.
Good press there to Sarah early on the net.
Fantastic attitude, Dan, you have to say. To me, it's something I always look for in a player. I think if you've got a really good attitude, you've got a good template to work with. And in fairness, Anastasia, she's 2 sets down, but she's doing so well out there.
Sarah now starting to make that court really big, using their length at the back and then playing nice and close to the net. So Anastasia has to cover a lot of court, something that she wouldn't be as comfortable in doing. She would want to keep this, especially the players that train out of Mount P, where it's faster and flatter.
Yeah.
Keep it into that kind of box game where it's flat and fast. That's what I would be trying to encourage her to do, because as soon as Sarah starts to open up and use angles and create space, then she wins the point quite quick.
Just to kind of play towards the centre of the court and flatten it out a bit, which is what doubles players try to do when they have to play a singles. They try to narrow the court, as you say.
Lift off the net there.
Unfortunately, she's lifted out the back, has she? Yes, she has.
I think she has to use her power play next time she gets the serve out, otherwise she won't get a chance to use it. And I'm pretty sure Sarah's going to be using one of hers now pretty soon. She won't want to waste any energy. She'll want to save it for her mix later in the game. Good lift. Yeah. 5-7. Now this is where I think Anastasia has to use it, otherwise she might not get a chance to use it.
I'm surprised there's nobody behind her court screaming at her, quite literally saying use the power play.
Yeah, you might see her. There's the low serve you had asked for. You might see her go off this corner without using it. And that's something it's a pet hate of mine. Where
you've got to use them, Dan. You've got to use them,
Yeah.
And I think if Sarah Boyle wins the next point, I think she'll go straight for a power play.
Yeah, here we go.
Be very surprised if she doesn't, and she's not, Dan.
Yeah.
I'd say she just hasn't realised.
Yeah.
Certainly not the right thing to do, because you have a power play in your 9, you should be using it.
Yeah, because it also gives, like, if she was to lose this point, it also gives Anastasia a chance to use hers.
Power play, yeah.
Good drop from Anastasia there. Big smash,
Missed
just
it.
wide. Now she gets the chance to use it and put a bit of pressure on. Oh, not using it.
Yeah, it's hard to understand. I would
Crazy.
say, but you know what, Dan? The whole point of the power play is it gives players the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to see how they're thinking, tactically, and it's just surprising that neither player used the power play and they both come off with 2 power plays left.
I can understand maybe a little bit with Sarah Boyle not using hers, because she was in a position where she didn't need to use it, and she's 2 games up. She could have been holding it for a case where it was the 4th game and the 5th game.
She had 2 power plays,
but she's come off the court without using them, and more so when you're the underdog player, I think you really have to make sure that you use your power plays to give yourself that 2 points.
Dan, I think if you were out there in that position at 9, you would have used your power play.
Yeah, and if I was on Anastasia on the other side,
you would have used it.
I would have tried to use both of them in the same game.
Yeah.
Of course, not allowed. You can only use one per game. And there we are. There's the tail so far. It's 1-1.
It's all square.
5-3 in favour of Pembroke Panthers, because of course David lost in a 3-2 game where Anastasia just lost 3-0 there.
It's almost like getting the bonus point in rugby, isn't it?
Sure. And 73 points to 59 points. So Pembroke having that commanding lead. So one very even game and one very strong win there for Pembroke Panthers. So
it's all to
even.
Play for.
All even, 1-1, and that's what the crowd want. They want to see a final where it's hotly contested between 2 teams, and both of them showcase their best players, and it'll be very interesting to see now how we get on with the next one. And we have Dave Murphy on the mic calling out the next round of games. This is an exciting match. We have Adam McAllister, who we talked about earlier, very versatile singles, doubles and mixed, along with Senan O'Rourke, who is a really good up-and-coming doubles and mixed player. Has played good singles as well at underage level, but I think he's now, focusing more on the doubles and the mixed. And then we've got Mark William on the other side, along with Nate, and that will be an interesting partnership for Mount Pleasant. So Nate, the taller of the two in the blue t-shirts, and then we've got Adam, who will be the smaller of the two in the black t-shirts.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting for me here is two things. One, I've watched him play a few times, Dan, and I think we spoke earlier. I don't actually know how good he is, Mark William, or how good he could be. Certainly sometimes he looks really good, and then there's some mistakes, but there's definitely something there. We just haven't seen enough of him. And also Senan O'Rourke, who is, I think you would probably say, well, you won't, but I will. Certainly one of the best, if not the best, under 19 doubles and mixed player we have on his day. He's definitely a doubles and mixed specialist. So it's going to be interesting to see how he, as the youngest on court, I suppose handles the occasion and shows his maturity.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to a good few people in the lead up to the BPL final, and people were guessing lineups and who would feature where, and a lot of people thought that it potentially could have been Adam in the singles, and it would have been David Walsh along with Senan, because they've played a lot more together and play a really, really strong doubles. But I actually think it was probably the right decision the way they went with David in the singles. I know Adam's cut back a good bit from his training. Yeah, it might have helped the decision that way, but I still think Adam's a fantastic doubles player. Controls the front court very well. When he's in that mood where he's pushing forward onto the net, he can be really aggressive, and in the first three, very, very strong. And I think himself and Senan will complement each other on court.
Yeah, I think Adam, every facet of his game. The only facet, if you were to nitpick, you would say he doesn't have the big power smash, but not everybody does. But every other part of his game, his footwork, every part of his game is really elegant, really classy. And the other thing you'd have to say, like, a really nice guy as well,
Yeah.
His mum, I'm not sure if she's here tonight, his captain here tonight, but she's usually at most of the tournaments supporting him, which is the mam, as he calls her.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if she's not here tonight, you're probably watching, Captain, and if you are, we hope you're well.
She's a great supporter, and she attends all of the finals and many of the finals in Leinster here down Whitehall Road that Adam's featured in. She's been behind the court.
And she brings her sister with her as well for backup.
Yeah, the full fan club comes down, so anytime Adam's on court, he's well supported. But it'll be interesting to see, how Mark and Nate on the far side fare out. I'm not sure, they're definitely would have only started playing together from when they both joined Mount P in the recent years, so it'll be interesting to see how tight their partnership is, because I think because Senan and Adam have so much experience playing doubles and proper doubles, they'll be a tight unit. Yeah,
my one small bit of advice, because I think Senan really is a good talent, and I think we all see the game differently, but my advice to him in matches like this, be a little bit more alpha male, because it's important to show your opponents across the net that you believe you're the best on court. That's the only little bit of advice I'll give him. Stick your chest out, go to war a bit more, and let them see that you believe you're the man. And he's a top player.
Yeah, and who would you predict in this one, Mike?
I'll go for this end. I'll go for Pembroke.
Yeah, I'd have to say I would have Pembroke as favourite as well for this one, but it should be a great game.
Again, I think what's absolutely crucial in games like this, and we've just seen it, is the serve and return, Dan. Sometimes it gets lost in the modern game, but the first serve was served out, the second return was put in the net. So there's 2 points.
And that's something that I think Adam does very well. He controls the service and third shot situation really well. So, it's a good start for Pembroke here.
And there's another. I mean, Dan, we say it so often. The first two, the first three, all the rallies so far have been decided in the first three. So you simply just have got to keep the shuttle in play.
A good read from Senan, but again that time just a little bit overexcited. Went for the jump as opposed to just staying on the ground and controlling the kill. Good wide serve from Nate there just to switch it up. But Adam again did the opposite. See, he pushed down the line, stayed controlled with his feet, made the winner. 4-2 lead for Pembroke.
Of course, Senan O'Rourke will travel to the World Juniors later on this year, Dan. And, probably the strongest team we've ever had going to a tournament like that.
Yeah, it's a good, strong team. I was lucky enough to travel with a very strong team for World Juniors back in Japan. And it was Johnny Dolan, Josh McGee, Alana Stevenson, Rachel Dara, who was at our probably one of the strongest teams since that one,
since
maybe.
That one, yeah.
But it will be a great trip for them, and what an experience to be travelling to India to compete in the World Juniors at that age.
Absolutely. It's amazing the players who turn up to watch events like this. You see some of the younger players, like you see young Luke Marks showed up tonight to watch this, and as you know, he's going to the European Youth Olympic Festival in July, which is obviously being coached by yours truly. But it's amazing the players that show, which is great to see.
Yeah, and it's not a short trip for Luke to be here tonight. So Patrick's another avid badminton fan, loves the BPL, attends a lot of them. So yeah, it's great to see them, travelling up. That's a really good return from Adam McAllister there, just finding the back box off.
Just about taking it early,
Yeah.
And just a small bit of trivia about Luke Marks, and it's amazing the way the circle comes, the full circle. But Luke's grandmother, Kathleen Marks, would have been behind my court on many occasions when I was the age he is now. And here I am going to be behind his court at the Youth Olympics. Life is strange at times,
Yeah, and it's not long away, a trip to North Macedonia, so it will be an exciting event, and it always is anything where you're representing Team Ireland, and a great experience and a good representation for yourself too, Michael, to be part of that multi-sport team event.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Dan, and young Hannah Shotchin is the young lady travelling, so two good players.
Yeah, and of course we'll get to see her sister in action later on. Michelle will be partnered up with David Walsh in the mixed doubles. This is what we talked about. We said we had seen a bit of Mark, and he can be absolutely fantastic, but sometimes can make these unforced errors. Again, a short lift goes to play that stop drop to the middle, where you'd probably like to see him just hit hard through the middle of the court.
Yeah. But
10-5, again, Adam McAllister really strong on serve, controlling the game really well. And there's the opposite end where Mark can at point blank range make that cutout. So let's see if he can get his consistency up, or is it a case that the steadier Pembroke pair is going to come out on top.
And you can see Adam being quite aggressive on the return of serve there, Dan, because as you know, it's the key is to get it down, get the shuttle going down on the far side. And I think Adam's return of serve, I think he's been very sharp on his serve and his return of serve, and if you can't do those two things as a doubles player, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for me, he's been the one that's controlled the match so far. Anytime he's been on serve, he's won 2-3 points. On return to serve, he's been solid. Senan's done his role very well. He's been aggressive when he's needed to be, and when Adams made a move, he's made the counter move. That's what I was saying. I thought that these guys would have too much structure and too much knowledge for the Mount P pair. Who are both individually very good players, but as a unit, definitely not as tight as the Pembroke pair.
No, absolutely agreed. David Walsh out there again, measure of the man, lost his singles. He will naturally be disappointed because he'll think I was 2 sets up, how did I lose it? But sometimes you just lose matches. But here he is coaching the doubles again tonight. As I said earlier, great team player.
Yep, and here we go. Love. Second game. Oh, a beautiful flick from Adam McAllister. Just a little delay, hold it for a split second and then flick over the top.
But again, I think if you look at the experience on court, Adam would have to be streets ahead of the others because he has played a number of tournaments internationally. You can see him just controlling the forecourt there quite nicely.
Yeah, and at the last men's team championship got his first senior cap for Ireland as well. So Adam's extremely experienced player.
Yeah, he is the senior international on court, and to be fair, he's playing like it as well.
So 1-1. Mark William on serve. Yeah, really good stroke from Senan. The temptation there is to hit firm cross, but he just played through the middle, so even if the shuttle does come back, it has to go back through his racket. So I know David Walsh has done a lot of work with Senan on his doubles, and you can see that from the way he plays. David a good doubles, head on his shoulders as well, having won a national title with Jonathan Dolan in men's doubles, so he's passed a lot of that good knowledge on to Senan, and you can see that coming out here tonight.
Yeah. That was just as we're looking down, we're on the opposite side of the court. We're viewing from the other side of the court, as in we're behind the Mount Pleasant guys. And the one thing that struck me there was I'd like to see David, or particularly Senan, defensively just a little bit higher up court.
It's a 4-1 lead for the Pembroke Panthers. Actually a clever shot from Adam again. He just overcooked it a little bit, but because Nate was pressing onto the net, Adam made the hold and played over the top, again showing his court craft. But I think that was really good. That's a class shot there from Mark Williamson. It just shows, although the consistency's not there, he can play some mouth-watering badminton.
Yeah, absolutely. I tend to think that the brilliance is actually in the simplicity at times. Just the magic is in the simplicity. Actually, Dan, we just saw the CEO of Badminton Ireland, Enda Lynch, there just passed beneath us, and a great week for Badminton Ireland.
Yeah, it's an award that we've been trying to win for a long time, a coveted award of the National Governing Body of the Year. So yeah, a lot of hard work's gone in, but over the years, and it's testament to all the volunteers and all the members and all the badminton lovers out there that have made our sport go to what it is, that we're recognised as the #1 sporting governing body in Ireland. So a great achievement, and one that we should all pat ourselves on the back for. The likes of Phil McCone here, who streams our matches on a voluntary basis, and the umpires and all of the different club coaches that put in the work all throughout the year. So that award is for everyone, and something that we should all enjoy.
Yeah, an incredibly proud moment, particularly when Sport Ireland are in the room and your name is called out. So yeah, it was an incredibly proud moment for us all, but particularly, Dan, I would have to say, for the chair, the CEO and the staff of Badminton Ireland. Anyway, back to the reason why we're here. 5-7.
Great angle from Adam, but a brilliant switch from Nate. I think it was actually a clever shot from Adam. He tried to do the right thing, put angle on the shuttle, and then as he stood into it, Nate, he just found that gap really well. And that's something you said you wanted to see them be more aggressive in their defence, and did it that time, and it paid off.
I think maybe Senan was a little bit deep in his forecourt attack, and the shuttle was driven past him. Had he been slightly more forward, he would have, I think, probably would have got that.
Great return from Mark William.
Yeah, there's definitely a really good player there, Dan. It's probably what it probably is just that he's not playing, or more importantly, training regularly. And if you're not training regularly, there tends to be inconsistencies there. But definitely some of the stuff he's playing is brilliant, but unfortunately some of the stuff is a little inconsistent.
I think with him, so far, it's either been a winner or an unforced error, and the problem is the unforced errors have outweighed the winners. But so the winning shots have been spectacular.
Yeah, and we've enjoyed watching them. But I think the tactic and the Farron should be play Mark William for that reason. And the guys have gone for a power play, and you know what? They've gone 2 sets up.
I think you've seen that throughout the game here, that Adam has been serving across Nate's body, and then they've been pressing onto the straight return because they know with the grip that he's used so far, I think maybe 70 to 80% of his returns have been straight, so they've been able to press that, and not only straight, but straight in an upward direction. Nate needs to change to the thumb grip there and try and play back across the guys, because otherwise this pattern is just going to continue and continue as the game goes on. David out coaching this side, and on the far side, Owen Marin. Owen and the family is a family you'd be very aware of course, with Ita and Pat and Donal and Vera and a great badminton family.
Yeah, I can always remember I played in a Waterford Open one year and lost the men's doubles to two Scottish guys. I don't remember who I was playing with, but I was quite disappointed, and Pat called me aside afterwards, and because he'd won the singles, and he called me aside for a little pep talk, and he said, look, we've got international coming next week against Scotland, we've got a good chance, blah blah blah. And he was really, really positive, and he got me from being down and negative to actually saying, do you know what, you're right. So Pat, the time I got my first cap, Pat was playing singles on the team, and he was always a very good team member, somebody to give you a pep talk, and he was a true monster man, as we say, Dan,
Yeah, and we've seen Owen coaching throughout the final so far. Owen will feature later on. A fantastic player, singles, doubles, mixed. I've travelled on Leinster senior trips with Owen, and he is just a serial winner. You put him in any discipline and you'd be confident that he's going to give you 200%. And you know what they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the cart, because you've had the privilege of playing with and against and watching Pat play throughout the year. So fantastic family in badminton and heavily involved with Leinster badminton.
Yeah, of course, all the family have played. His brother Donal was a national junior in the older days when they had Irish juniors, was a serial junior men's doubles winner, and his aunties as well, Mary and Vera, was really good badminton players as well. So it's in the blood,
Just in the last few points, they're Senan now really stepping up and being confident on his serve and finding the third really well, which Adam has done throughout the game. So both the Pembroke boys now really doing solid stuff. And Senan just leaving it for Adam, perhaps could have taken it.
Yeah, I'd like to see Senan, when it comes up to Adam, be more proactive in the forecourt and actually look to get on the end of more things, maybe leaving one or two. I would be saying don't leave them, take them. Obviously leave them if they're clearly not yours, but I think you need to be proactive about what you can take,
Mark choosing to flick again, and I felt that Adam and Senan have been very athletic and getting up. The boys just want to see to steamroll them here.
You're just seeing the experience standing here big time. 5-2 up in the third, and he's going for the power play. Why are we not surprised?
No, brilliant. He's a clever guy, Adam. He really is. And the amount of pressure that puts on you when you're 11-6, 11-7, you're 7-2 down. The only saving grace for them on the far side is they do have two power plays of their own to use.
Yeah, like that rally was simplicity at its best with a power play. A good short serve. Second shot was pushed. Senan went up the singles line, make sure he got it in court. It was lifted. The smash was put away. 7-2. It doesn't get more simple and beautiful. A very good smash for the right hit.
Brilliant. Really good. Now, I hope if the guys get the opportunity when they get the shuttle out that they use their power play. Otherwise, again,
you won't be happy, Dan.
No,
you won't be happy.
We have to see these power plays being used. Oh, Mark William again with the wonder shot. For me, it's a must use straight away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get off the court and you haven't used it, and you haven't applied any more pressure.
I think it's just not. I think it's just not thinking at the time, not being able to think it. Yeah, he's calling for it now.
That's good. Well done. And now, if they get this, then a 6-8 and there's pressure on the player. So good to see it being used. Good serve as well.
Good return. Good third shot.
You know what? Mark tried to do the right thing, but maybe just a bit of tension in the arm, or his layoff was just too high.
Yeah, I think the right thing for him there is to play neutral. Just keep it low and play half court, well in from the sidelines.
Yeah. So here we are, 9-4. It looks like our prediction is going to come to fruition because.
So is it our prediction or was that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both went for Pembroke.
Did we both go for it? We did, yeah. I think we did, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
on, don't worry, it's been recorded. Again, that's just a simple mistake there from Mark Williams, and
Yeah, the basics,
yeah,
serve, return of serve, Dan, are everything.
yeah.
If you can't do those, you're in trouble.
And I think you remember what I said from the start. The structure of the Pembroke pair would just be too much for the flamboyance of the Mount Pleasant Maverick. So and here we are.
Yeah.
They've no additional power play that they can use. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's one
yeah.
per game, so we've got 4 match points. Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So 3 match points.
If only you had a match play now, or a
Yeah.
match if you're on a power play now.
Yeah, that would be useful. Oh, what a backhand. Absolute magic.
Yeah, I'm surprised Adam wasn't able to play that, because that was hit straight at him.
You have to say, really solid serve from Nate under the pressure of it being match point.
Just keep hitting.
Yeah, and solid on his defense as well. Great rally. Oh, and again, absolute wonder shot from Mark Williams. He's stealing the show here.
There's been a few of those, Dan.
I think if you were on the highlight reels and you were clipping his shots, you would get a catalogue of wonder shots, but equally...
The best of Mark Williams.
Yeah, the best and worst. It'll be the new album. And there it is. There's the win for Pembroke Panthers to give Pembroke a 2-1 lead here on finals night at the BPL. But I have to say, an impressive performance from the Pembroke guys, and well structured, good solid doubles. Not so many wonder shots like we've seen on the other side, but what they were was rock solid throughout.
Yeah, well, I think I've always said it. I think the magic is in the simplicity. You know, serve, return to serve, third shaft, nice and simple, nice and structured. It doesn't have to be flamboyant.
Not for doubles, especially.
No.
Like I do think, you know, at singles, to be really world class, you do have to have that little bit of magic, that little bit of, you know, something special that, you know, differentiates one player from being world class to another. And you can almost, you know, we were talking during the week about certain players and certain attributes that they had that made them winners. We were chatting about Kento Momota and a number of other players. What made them different, but in doubles generally the best pairs are the ones that are just rock solid in their defense. They attack well, they serve well, they return well. We've had the odd exception like the Minions, who came along and rocked their world for about 2 seasons and then disappeared again, but generally it's the solid partnerships that come out on top. Yeah,
and I think it's a bit like the set plays in football or corner kicks. You can set them up and play a certain way, and you know, you should know what way I'm serving, I should know what way you're serving, we should know what we're trying to do out there, you know, because it's a simple enough game, you know.
And here we are going on to the ladies doubles, and we have been in agreement so far on our predictions, and I think we're in agreement on who we think will come out on top here. You know, we've got a really seasoned professional in Kate Frost, you know, a national champion, has won a singles national championships, has won a doubles national championships. She's got a lot of experience, an Irish capped player, and she's playing with a really exciting power player, Ling Yu Gong. And Ling Yu, if you've watched her before, Mike, huge power, and with that power at the back and Kate reading at the front court, really dangerous. Now on the far end, Michelle Shokan and Amira Pender, 2 really good up-and-coming junior players. Michelle probably more renowned for her singles, but has had some very good results in doubles and mixed as well. And Amira Pender has really stepped up, and the youngest player on court, but a very good record on doubles. So, I've said what we're in agreement. Do you concur?
I only see this game going one way, and you're absolutely right. But what I'm particularly excited about, you know, I'm always I love watching the younger ones come through, and I think Michelle Shochin, you know, she's a fabulous young girl. She's a lot of experience. She's played in in kind of European Championships as well. She's had injury. I think the family haven't been well recently, so she's back playing well again. But a player I'm particularly excited about, and I know will be one for the future, will be Amira Pender. I've no doubt she'll be Dan, how old is she? Is she 15?
Yeah, so she's playing under 17 now at the minute, but she's had some fantastic results along with Michelle's younger sister Hannah. So they play they play as a partnership and are a really exciting partnership for the future. Amira has done really well, in the younger age groups in singles, but she started to really take the doubles and really likes it. So you might see a transition for her across, focusing more on doubles and mix, but she still plays a very good singles game as well. Michelle, although a lot of her best results have come through singles, you can see on those European trips away that she's had where she's been put into doubles and mixed doubles, and she's winning matches. She's done very well in against some of the higher profile teams, and of course has done well in the European under-19 circuit in doubles along with Paige Woods in some of the tournaments that they've played together as well. So she's an all-rounder, but it's just that physicality and that experience from the Mount Pleasant team, I think, will just be a bit too much for the junior players on the far side this time.
I think on all fronts they'll have too much, but you know what? You're looking at two players. Michelle is she'll never give up on court. She does know what it's like to give up, which is a fantastic attribute to have. And it's going to be interesting to see how Amira, because when I played when I was very young, you always want to play against the older, better players to kind of see what you could do. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm delighted to see. You're looking at, to some extent, maybe the future of ladies badminton here. So let's see how it goes. Kate Frost to Michelle Shotchen, love all.
Was going to go, and I was happy to see Michelle didn't try to play through the racket of Kate. She knows how good she is in that first three shots, and again Amira doing the same. I think that's the right tactic for them. Although you're giving away the lift, it's too risky to try and play through Kate because she's just so fast at cutting out from.
Well, if you give away the lift there, Dan, at least you're still in the rally. If you try and play the crosser, you're not going to be in the rally for too long. So you're absolutely right. Quite a controlled rally there from the youngest player on court.
Yeah, I like what you said. I'm really excited to see how she fares out in this game and how she steps up against the senior players, but it's been a positive start. Again, I do think Michelle and Amira do have to try and pick a bit on Ling Yu, because Ling Yu can be, again, a bit like Mark in the previous game. She can be the very best player on court, but she is also prone to making some, of the unforced errors where Kate would be a lot more solid throughout the game.
And a lot more experience, absolutely. But you know what, Dan? Like, one thing we don't have a lot of domestically is we don't have a lot of opportunities for players to play in match situations like this, which are almost cauldron-like, and I think it's a very good environment for younger players to learn in,
Yeah, when you look at the top leagues in Germany and France and Denmark, they have these type of setups in the courts, and especially for their finals as well. And as the league grows, and, you get more of the better players competing in the BPL. Can only add to the culture and the learning.
And credit to the BPL and everybody involved with it, Dave Murphy and Joe Byrne, and I know I'm going to leave somebody out here, Dan, so help me out.
Thomas Bohan, don't forget, on the camera, if you are reading some of those funny captions and great little pictures that go with them, that's Thomas Bohan.
Some dodgy tunes there, Dan, for the warm-up there would have to be.
No, we won't go at his playlist here now.
Yeah.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. They were probably the songs to dance to.
His phone was hacked. Maybe his phone was hacked. We don't know. It could be, but no, it is. Leinster Badminton is for putting on a show like this. Where else would you be on Friday night?
And you know what? Again, like what we said, this is a very important game for Mount Pleasant. I really feel they can't afford to lose this one, because if Pembroke have a 3-1 lead, looking at the mixed on paper, you'd have to say they would have it wrapped up. So this is a game that Mount Pleasant have to win, and then it keeps the pressure on Pembroke as well.
Well, it's back to 2-2 then, isn't it, Dan?
It would be, yeah. But it's a long way from over with the Pembroke guys really playing well here today.
It's a very brave and clever shot from somebody so young, just looking to take the net. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out to all of the sponsors of tonight's event. We've got Oscar Travel, True Way, and of course Yonex are a long-term sponsor for Leinster Badminton. So these sponsors help make this event what it is. So yeah, big shout out to all of those.
So we don't know, we can't say for sure, but if certain Catherine McAllister might be watching down the country.
Yeah, we're starting to get a few messages in.
We're getting a few messages in, and it's nice if there's anybody else that wants to make contact, letting us know where you are. Please feel free to do so, whether you're down in West Cork, or whether you're in the west, or whether you're up north, or wherever you are. You know, we want to see more people tuning in. So 10-5, unfortunate service error. So 6-10. Dan, would you look for a power play right now?
No, not at 6-10.
Yeah.
No, I don't think if you're game point down by 4 points, I think it is better for them maybe to wait till 8 in this situation. I do like an early power play to put pressure on, but maybe a little early. If they get one more point now, I'd be screaming at them for the power play, Mike. Oh, there it is, 11-7. Big thanks to Phil McKeown there again, showing me that there's a number of comments coming in on the YouTube stream. So anyone who drops a message in, we'll try to give you a shout in.
Absolutely.
Juha from Finland, a former Mount Pleasant winner here at the BPL.
Yeah.
Giving a shout out. I wonder if Dan's men's doubles prediction is better than last year, because last year I predicted that he wouldn't come out on top against Pembroke.
I think that was the match I predicted he would come out on top, was it, Dan?
It potentially
yeah.
could have been, and we'll give you credit where credit's due, because he put a point on the board for Mount Pleasant. So
a fine doubles player. He played in one of the tournaments with my own son Daniel. They got to the final, and actually it was your good self, Dan, who put them together. You said they'd gel very well, and they absolutely did. So Juha, we hope you are keeping well. Shout out to you.
Yeah, it's always, you'll always get the mention when someone's win a match, but we won't forget that, Juha. And I'm sure he has his Mount Pleasant t-shirt on here and supporting for tonight.
The two youngsters, Dan, are digging in here big time.
Yeah, no,
strange, clear.
Yeah, Kate and Ling, you have really had to work hard so far. So
is there anybody else, Dan, tuning in with any comments that wants a shout out?
no, we just got a couple of ones saying that they're loving to see the commentary and about the dominant performance from the Pembroke lads, but it's an unnamed account, so
can't give a shout out there then. So of course I am, Dan, going to give a certain shout out to a certain person down in Ballina, Killaloe, who's probably watching us snuggled up beside a black Labrador at the moment, called Harvey. So if you're watching, you know who you are.
Is that Harvey you're giving the shout out to, or?
And I'll see you either very, very late tonight or tomorrow morning.
Very good. Yeah, there's always a number of celebrations at the end of these championships. Phil McKeown, notorious not only for his streaming but also for his cocktail making ability. So
Absolutely, yeah.
maybe there will be some celebrations.
Espresso martini, Phil, please. And Dan, these young girls are really they're really digging in here.
Yeah, no, excellent so far. Really, really strong. 3-all, and you have to say, like, the way Amira Pender has settled into this final is fantastic. And again, I'm not sure if the Penders are here tonight, Keith and Barbara, but big supporters of both Amira and Zara. And Zara's another really talented player who's played for Ireland before at underage level. So great pedigree in that household as well. So
just that third shot there for the two girls, particularly Amira, just get the third shot in play, keep it flat, keep it low, and just keep it well in court.
You mixing them drops.
I think she might have just missed the line there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you've seen there, Dan, you may not have noticed it, but you'll see the.
That was close, that one, Mike.
Yeah.
It was hard to see. I know the line judge was right on the line, so maybe they've got the best view of it.
Yeah, I think you might have seen an indication from the service judge.
Yeah.
So you'll have a, if I'm umpiring that, I'm looking straight at my service judge.
Yeah, because they're right on the line.
They're right on the line.
Yeah, had a good view of it, and they overruled the call made by Pembroke. But it was very close. And to be honest, if you're making a decision in a final and it's 50-50, generally you're going to have to go with the decision that it's wide. So it's good that the service judge was there.
Tonight it's really the players are calling their own lines. The umpire will either accept that or overrule, and Niamh correctly overruled there, and in fairness, she's shown her experience as an umpire by using her service judge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, touch on the net there from Kate Frost.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. 5-7, all to play for, but again,
would you go for a power play now?
You know what? I would, if they win this point now. Obviously it's too late, but if they did, I would go for it to try and again put that pressure on, because the game's going to slip away from them the longer they leave it. And you might see a power play from Kate and Ling Yu if they win this point.
Would prefer to see her hit down from there, Dan.
Oh, unlucky. She went over the top, and
it's quite a fast haul. I think you'd agree. It's easy to hit out the back.
Yeah, as expected. Kate's used her experience. She's gone for the power play.
And again, it's put up in the air.
Interestingly, tonight, what Ling Yu has used is a lot of stop drops from the rear court. She's got a big power smash, but she's done a really good job of making the girls trying to get in, and they're trying to lift, but they're trying to lift through Kate's racket, and she's been so dangerous that way,
Yeah, but it's I think the two young girls are doing very well, but they're certainly up against it,
So there we go, Omar back out coaching again, and on the far side, Sarah Boyle and David Walsh out to give their advice.
And it's great to see the senior players out passing on their knowledge, and so many of them involved in coaching as well, Dan.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's one of the things that Leinster Badminton has done well. They've recycled a lot of their junior players that have played to a high level, and got them back coaching their young squads and travelling away with them to these events like Nottingham and the Celtic Challenges.
Yeah,
it's a great system.
Huge credit to the Youth Activities Committee over the many years. I mean, even if you look at the likes of
We're back on here for the live commentary, and it's an exciting return to the commentary at 10-7 to the Pembroke Panthers, having lost the opening 2 games. Mike?
Yeah, very, very impressive to see the young girls having lost 7 and 5. They're not backing down, Dan.
Absolutely.
They're not backing down at all. Very good forecourt play by
And will we see a power play now? Because we thought maybe at 9 we would have seen one from the Pembroke players, but I suppose a 9-10 power play could make it even more exciting for us.
A needless lift. That should have been just a straight block down.
I think you're going to see a power play here to try and win the match, and that would make it a double game point. Here we go. This is what we tune in for. Game point either side.
I think what you're seeing there, Dan, is the experience of one side against the lack of experience on the other.
Yeah.
But I think...
Oh, and you're right, because that one was a costly miss. A 9-10 serve, and Michelle pressing onto the body, but just pushing it down. There we have it. It's a win for Mount Pleasant Mavericks. Keeps the game really exciting now at 2-2, and you have to say that it was just that little bit of experience and a clever decision again from the Mavericks to use it. And I think you could see both times Kate saying let's use your power plays. So she used her experience very well. But an impressive performance from the younger players, having lost the opening 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, that was a tale of 2 levels of experience. Kate Frost, we know who she is, former national champion, senior national and all that. She showed her experience, and it was just slightly lacking on the other side. But then, as you and I both know, that comes with age. That's why these young girls are playing in an event like tonight. It's experience that you can't buy.
Yeah, and Kate's an established player, but we've also seen Robbie making huge leap forwards this year, winning his first ever senior title along with Kate in mixed doubles on the domestic front, and also featuring a lot throughout the BPL in the lead-in to the final. So I know it's always bittersweet when you're one of the players that helps the team get to the final but doesn't get to play. But you've seen it in football with Roy Keane, and you've seen it in other sports. You're still an important part of the team, yeah?
It's all about the team.
So here's the tale of the tale. 2-2 matches, 8-6 to Pembroke Panther, and 128 points to 114. And these are these all-important points that all add up towards the end of the match. And it's like the end of the Premier League season. We're all eagerly waiting to see who's going to get the Champion League's positions. So every point counts. As a Newcastle supporter, I'm keen to see Champion League's football, and I know Kate Frost out there tonight will be sitting back relaxed because a big Liverpool fan. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And we'll have enjoyed that.
Somebody's after winning something, Dan, and I don't think it's you or me.
While Dave's doing a little shout out there on the raffle, we have a comment in from Dan Ryan. Best wishes from Tipperary guys. Some great games and great commentary. Would love to be up, but Nina have a Club All Ireland in Baldoyle tomorrow morning. Come on, Nina.
Yeah, Dan his dad is Aidan Ryan, so they're from my neck of the woods, if you like. I know Aidan and all his family very well, and of course Dan recently took the national. Forgive me if I get this wrong now, but it was either the E or the F singles title, so that went down really, really well back home in Nina,
Yeah, Dan played a brilliant final against Shay Farrell. I was doing commentary on that one as well, and it was a really, really good final. Shay was featuring in 3 finals that day in the singles, doubles, and
he
mixed.
won the mixed.
He got the mixed, but he lost out to Dan in a very good singles match, and Dan's working his way up the grades well. I was saying during my commentary at the finals, check out his Instagram. he's a good man to share some posts of training and
Yeah,
how
yeah.
he's developing. So lots happening in Nina at the minute, Mike.
Yeah, and I suppose I'd have to shout out to Aidan, keep a country and up Killadangan, and of course that neck of the woods as well. Celine Connors, who's one of our Vets Internationals.
Yeah.
She'll be travelling alongside yourself, Dan, to the
Nations Cup.
The Nations Cup is it Barcelona in June?
Yeah, it's an exciting.
Yeah, there's quite a few half decent players have come from Tipperary and around the Nina area, Dan, over the years.
Yeah, there's one or two. But definitely, it's great to see all the different people who, are able to tune in and watch the matches online. And
thanks to Mr. McKeown.
But also great to see the turnout that we have here in the crowd tonight. So, as you said, it's kind of like that amphitheatre setup where the court's surrounded, and having played in Leinster finals here in Whitehall, it's a really nice.
It's a
venue.
cauldron. It's a nice cauldron. It's a nice, almost like an arena, very much a one-court arena compared to being in the middle of maybe 4 courts. It's a very, very different feel and a very different setting.
Yeah, it's a great setup. I've actually had a opportunity to play an exhibition match out in court 5 and 6 as well, and again you can set that hall up really well. But it's really good venue for the fans to engage and get close and get right in beside the court, and as a player then you really feel the spectacle of it, and
feel the love really, Dan.
The oohs and the ahs, and
yeah.
So it's it's an exciting one now, and we've got our next match coming on court, and just a small break there to do the raffle, just to give Kate, a rest. And this is a game that I've really been looking forward to when I seen the team lineouts. Dylan Noble and Kate Frost up against Adam McAllister and Sarah Boyle. Really interested for this one because you've got a lot of experience on court there from Kate and Sarah and Adam. Dylan probably not as famed for his mix, but has had some very good results at underage with Paige Woods. Has that big power game, serves well, can return well, and will be guided really well by Kate. So this will be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, and as usual, Dan, I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm going to say Adam McAllister and Sarah Boyle for the win in this one. But would I be surprised if Dylan and Kate win? I wouldn't be, but what about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I mean, I think the serving, the returning, the third shot maybe for Adam would probably maybe be a little better than Dylan's. Maybe not, but I think Dylan has the power. So I suppose if you're going to go for McAllister and Boyle, I suppose I'll have to take the others then, won't I? Really.
Well,
I
you've
think
got your choice.
Yeah, I do.
This will be our first one where we're maybe
I'll go for
not in agreement.
I'll go for Dylan and Kate, but
a good matchup.
Yeah, a fantastic matchup, and I think it's going to be. I think Adam and Sarah are going to have to be very careful. They're going to have to play it very cleverly, cat and mouse, try and keep the shuttle as low as they can, because once they put it in the air to Dylan, of course, because Dylan, doesn't have to cover the whole court now, he can really open fire when it comes up, because Kate will dominate the forecourt. So I think, it's going to be an interesting match, Dan. It's really going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, Kate's really good in the serve situation, and she's had some cracking performances in the BPL throughout. I'm really looking forward to seeing her in full flow here. She's got great reading of the third shot. She can defend really well, and she's got a guy who can move around her really well here in Dylan. He'll be able to cover a lot of court, so she'll be able to take risks going early onto the net. She'll be able to open up on her smash. But
I think she'll be the one, in my opinion, that will dictate the match on their side. Because she'll be the one more experienced, and I think that dictation has to be around dominating the net and getting the lift for Dylan. And I think if she does that, I think it's possible my prediction might come out on top. But listen, as we say, it's a great matchup. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and equally, I've had a good opportunity to play with a lot of players throughout my years, and I've played senior tournaments with both Kate and Sarah, and they're both really good girls to play alongside. Sarah with that left hand is dangerous, and I always find in mixed you get that 1 or 2 times where you go to push up the line and suddenly it's cut out. So she'll have that weapon for her. And as you said, Adam will read the game. He'll control the game really well. So yeah, no, it's an exciting one to come.
If there's anyone watching around the country who wants to put in a comment in the live stream, I mean, give us your predictions if you want. Let's see what you think, because at the end of the day, you know, what Dan and I know, we're just giving an opinion, but we'd love to hear yours. So just a little break, Dan, to as you said, to give Kate a few minutes. And
yeah, no, we've seen some, you know, really good matches in the BPL to get to this point of where we are, and you know, Pembroke, the only team I think they've lost to this season has been South Dublin, where there were some really good matchups in that. But other than that, they've won all of their matches. Mount Pleasant Mavericks had pretty much a clean sweep to make the finals, but believe it or not, have not won a BPL title so far. So they really have to try and break that duck, where Pembroke are the current reigning champions. The year before that was South Dublin, and then you've got a mixture of teams before that, and of course the cup presented is in memory of Dave Gannon. And Dave Gannon won this tournament when he was the Aylesbury captain, and Aylesbury, you know, a club steeped in history, and I know some of his family will be here to present the cup here tonight. And a big shout out to the Gannons, and another amazing family in Badminton. And
of course his niece is a very, very big is she the captain of the Dublin Camogie team? I think she might be.
Niamh was a fantastic badminton player as well, and now is making big streaks in the Camogie, and as are the younger sisters.
Twins.
So a really sporty family, and Niall, of course, is again going to get his cap as he heads off for the Nations Cup.
Of course, Niall is already a senior international.
Yeah, senior international, and will be a huge part of the Irish team at the Nations Cup.
Playing with Breen McGowan, of course.
Shane Gilday.
Forgive me, Shane Gilday.
Yeah, Shane Gilday. Breen plays in the older age group along with
Breen is playing
Mark
with Mark
Topping.
Topping. Forgive me,
So they were at the All Englands this year, and I know they lost out in a close 3-game match after winning their opening rounds to, I think it was the eventual winners. But it'll be interesting to see all of these players as they head off the ronda. But we'll get back to the youth on court here, as we've got McAllister and Boyle warming up here, and Dylan and Kate.
Of course, Dan, it's nice to see, and I know you won't mind me saying it, but it's nice to see a certain Jenny McGee here in attendance tonight. She's not walking as freely as she was a few weeks ago, but she's making great strides, and it's fantastic to see her here tonight, and hopefully catch up with her later on.
Yeah, had a good record in her BPL matches throughout the season, won a number of the key matches for South Dublin, and was probably, you know, one of the biggest losses for the team, as she was pitting 2 points per game on most of the matches. But she also had a good run in the All Englands before the injury she picked up, making it to the final. And it was 20 all in the third game.
20 all in the third set,
so going through her rehab at the minute, but we'll hope to make
we'll get there.
Try and make a return to the BPL in the following season. And over in that trip, we also had Sian Williams picking up a silver medal in the women's singles, and Pam Perd took a silver medal in the mixed doubles with her partner Niels Carson from Sweden. So a lot of All England finalists from Ireland at that event. So
wonderful to see. So we're getting ready. Looks like Sarah Boyle to serve to Dylan Noble.
Yeah, this is the one now. I really when the
You're
team.
happy with your prediction? You're not wavering?
No,
No,
I'm
you're
going to
happy?
stick with it. And this is the game when the team sheet came out that I was really looking forward to. I have to say it was one of the ones that I picked out, saying I really look forward to seeing how it goes and how Dylan will step up in the mix along with Kate, because uh, Adam and Sarah probably have more experience playing with each other. But let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah. But I think if Kate and Dylan are to win this, Kate's going to have to dictate the forecourt, and I know she will be looking to do that.
Yeah. There's that left hand that we talked about.
There's that left hand.
Dylan going for that soft fade down the line, which is probably the right shot to make, but just with the left hand, it's not the right decision.
Just needs to be careful going out, because that's twice he's gone cross court. He's ended up playing the backhand drag, and it hasn't worked out. So just needs to be careful going too far across court there.
Yeah, good use of the midcourt from Adam McAllister, and a really classy shot. Just holding the shuttle to the last second and moving it across.
Of course, it's a very important skill in mixed doubles to be able to push the shuttle, up and down the lines and be very neutral, and not give the lift away.
Sarah showing there how she has been predominantly a singles player in the past, going for the spin instead of the side face, trying to push onto the tape. That's a good trait from Dylan Noble, seeing that last time he got completely beat with that hold fade. This time he read it. Shuttle just wide there off the left side. 3-4. Oh, what a shot from Sarah Boyle. Under pressure at the front court, just guiding it. You know what always amazes me is how relaxed Sarah is on court.
Yeah, I just have a feeling she must have an earpiece in. She's listening to you, Dan, and she's doubling up on her efforts to prove you right.
Yeah, she always plays with a smile, and it could be 9-all in the third game, and she always looks so relaxed when she plays.
That's very soft from Dylan in mixed. I would like to see him play not soft to the net like that, because there's only one outcome to that, which is Sarah Boyle playing a net kill, but just play with a little bit more pace downwards.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while to get into this game, because again he's playing against such a solid partnership, and he really needs to try and step up. I think at the minute you can see how deep he is in the midcourt, and now he's playing up the ways all the time.
Good return.
This time playing down below level tape, and you know with mixed doubles, Mike, unless you're getting that shot below tape, there's no chance.
Yeah.
Again, what happens is when you're in a match like this and you're under pressure and you're not scoring points, you start to try too hard, and I feel that's a bit what's happening with Kate at the minute. Good shot straight down the middle there. Oh, has to smash that, Mike. The first one.
Yeah, that's kind of inexplicable. Yeah,
half court and then dropping in front of the man.
It's what you dream of.
Again, just a little bit loose, and Adam has been so solid in his role, and Sarah's been prolific at that left hand at the front. So
if it comes up short, Dan, and mixed, particularly in a hall like this, 10 out of 10, there's only one response.
That's better by Dylan that time. High mid-court that time, both times. Kate's playing the net well, but he's just not pressing forward enough into mid-court.
Yeah. See, to me, that's an opportunity again. Dylan had to attack, played soft. They lost the attack and they lost the point. If I was going out to him now, I would say, Dylan, be more aggressive. If it comes up, start using your smash.
Yeah.
Don't drop, just hit it. And if necessary, hit it towards the center third of the court. But playing soft, you give the attack away. Yeah,
he has to start hitting out. Not only that, he has to start pressing up in the midcourt. If he stays as deep as what he's staying, then Adam's just going to twist and turn him playing below tape. Then it's going to be them playing up through Sarah's left hand, and it's just going to be a rinse and repeat cycle. So we've got to see Dylan be more aggressive, go up, reach out, show us straight, then turn across. makes Sarah have to work across the front of the court, and then when he gets the lift, as you said, Mike, get up and hit hard.
Yeah, there was a girl I had the privilege of playing with during my career. You will know her as Nikki Topping, married to Mark Topping, Nikki Lane, but Nikki was very clear in her instructions when she played with the man. When it came up, I won't say exactly what she said, but she needed you to hit the shuttle. And as I said, the magic is in the simplicity.
That's it. And her record stands for its own.
Absolutely. You never stare a gift horse in the mouth. You get a chance to hit it.
That was better from Dylan that time. Because you see he pressed well early on the midcourt. Just a fraction too high for Kate. She held her position very well as well. It was just a fraction too high. I think that's Catherine Smith that's arrived there, BEI president.
Yeah, absolutely. Until Sunday.
Good smash there from Adam. There's the difference. Anytime Adam's getting that opportunity to get up and hit the full out attack, he's using it, and he's capitalising from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are, 3-love lead after taking the first game. That's better from Dylan. Yeah, and good from Kate as well.
Give the attack away.
I actually think he did the right thing that time though, because he was playing, he was out of balance and he was playing above Sarah, but and then transitioned it back well. But Adam and Sarah so patient in attack, good in defence, good. And I think for doubles and mixed, the importance is when you're on the defence, being patient enough then to make your transition to go back on attack. You'll see the players that panic and then get erratic when they're on defence. Where Sarah and Adam have been patient when they're being put on defence.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it is. I do think what you're seeing is you're seeing Adam. I think he is showing that he is a better mixed doubles player than Dylan in terms of experience, and he knows what to do, particularly in the, as you said, not to panic when they're defending, wait to transition, get the attack, but also in that soft half court area where he's trying not to give the attack away or make mistakes.
Just another uncharacteristic mistake from Kate, because you've seen the one before, that set piece, she served across the body to Adam and then cut it out. I felt that maybe she might start to get it on a run here, but she just hasn't looked comfortable so far, and it's a lot to do with the style that her partner's playing, that is not the stereotypical doubles that she's used to playing. Brilliant by Sarah again, that left hand so dangerous, Mike.
Yeah, they just need to keep it away from her left hand, Dan.
Again,
easier said than done.
She's probing them to set that up and they're falling into the trap each time.
I would also like to see, and I would say to him, Dylan, be more aggressive on the return to serve. Yeah. They're serving, he's waiting, he's been soft. I would like to see him be more aggressive.
That time he closed down the midcourt well though, which was good to see. And likewise, you're right. And for a guy the height that he is, he should be really leaning over that line, trying to
totally
intimidate.
Intimidate, absolutely, yeah. It seems to be something that was very old school, but that has been lost in the modern game. Is the attempts to be intimidating when you're receiving serve,
Just way too passive, way too defensive. It was actually a really clever serve from Kate there, where she served across and got it on to the midcourt, but again, Dylan choosing to go over instead of maybe laying off in front and getting the attack. So it's 9-4, McAllister and Bole. Clever serve from Adam. We saw that in the doubles earlier.
Yeah.
So obviously a really good deceptive serve, because he got a couple of those in the doubles earlier on as well.
Yeah, you made a point, Dan, earlier about the men's doubles.
One for the highlights reel later on.
Are we all okay? There we are.
Adam tripping over Sarah. Sarah actually missed timing her movement at the start of that, scrambling to get back, and then Adam, as he scrambled, bumped into each other, and bit of a car crash for them on that one.
I was just saying, you mentioned earlier about the men's doubles, the Mount Pleasant, sorry, the Pembroke pair. You said they were a much tighter pair than the Mount Pleasant, and I think you're seeing something similar here as well. You're seeing Adam and Sarah much tighter in the important areas than Kate and Dylan. It's 11-5, 10-5, so
yeah, and no power plays even used.
Yeah, but I think it's a long way back, Dan.
Yeah.
But listen,
we saw it in the singles. It's more than possible, and potentially Dylan might work his way back into this game like he did in the singles earlier, where he really stepped up and gave his team a point. So 11-5, 11-5. Pembroke in full flow here at the minute. Mike, are you hoping to change your prediction there, or
are you saying I can, Dan?
Have you got the faith? Are you willing to stick by your guns? And
yeah, no, look, I mean, I have to stick by it, but I don't see it happening at this stage. I just think the Adam and Sarah are just much tighter in so many areas. I think where Adam is doing really well, particularly in the when he has to play a lot of those push shots and play neutral and not give the lift away, he's far more comfortable, where Dylan has made a lot more mistakes when he's had to just play simple soft pushes, and it's because he's primarily a singles player, and wouldn't be practicing those. But I think it's very hard to see a turnaround here now. It really is. But I would be pushing Dylan to be more aggressive on the return to serve. Like so.
Well done. You got what you wanted, Mike, and maybe that will help your prediction if you can start to become more aggressive.
I would also look for him to be a little bit closer to Kate, and he's got to look for that third shot. That's all he's got to think about when Kate is serving, is to get the third shot.
Yeah, for me, just too deep in the midcourt.
Maybe a little bit deep down, you think?
Yeah, too deep, not aggressive, not stepping up behind Kate, because Kate will do her job. She'll hold the front court well. Like for me, it's simplicity. Like you said earlier, Dylan needs to be early in the midcourt, stopping the shuttle in front of Sarah and Adam, and if they're coming onto him, then start to press. When he gets to left, then get up, use the power because he has it, and as you said, press hard off the return to serve as well.
There's two drop shots there now.
Bit earlier in the midcourt, which was good, but again a wild shot from below level tape. He should in that instance lift high onto the backline and be confident in his partner's defense as well. But 3-1, and it's only going one way with two power plays still to use.
Little bit uncharacteristically wild from Adam, but I think he's been on point thus far, so he's allowed that.
Yeah. And what I would say is Sarah is coming out on top in that front court because Kate's trying extra hard to score points, because she knows the longer the rally goes on, the more and more chances is that they're not going to win it.
And when you try extra hard, you know what happens. You tend to just make more mistakes. Yeah, I've been quite surprised. I genuinely thought this match would be a lot tighter than it has been. But again, you're looking at
that's experience. It's definitely down to experience. See, these are the type of shots we hope to see earlier in the match from Dylan, being aggressive on his midcourt, setting up his attack. But that's rock solid from Adam and Sarah.
Yeah, they're just standing back and they're just playing out the rally, waiting for the chance to change it. I would still say, I would like to see Dylan be, when it comes up, just hit it, be more aggressive.
Again, they potentially need to get that power play in here before it's too late. 3-6 now. And Adam's done exactly what we were hoping that Dylan would do on this side. He's being aggressive. Anytime it goes high, he's using his attack, setting up Sarah.
But if you look at that return to serve there, he didn't blaze it down a line. He went straight down the middle.
Yeah.
So he's again showing his experience.
Nice and aggressive, still fighting. You gotta love her attitude. anytime it comes into a tight game, she'll fight all the way to
Oh
the
yeah,
end.
absolutely, absolutely.
And that's all you want of your partner or your team, is that they don't give up. And 2 games to nil down, 4-7 down, and still fighting. And again, it's a simple, unnecessary lift from the midcourt.
Yeah, I mean that should have been pushed up the singles line half court. It's neutral, it's low, no danger. And I think just lifting it is
Power play 9-4 to put it to bed.
Yeah, I thought it would be closer, Dan. I genuinely thought this game, I expected it to be closer, is what I would say.
Yeah,
I
no,
definitely expected it to be closer.
On paper, it did have the billing of a close match, but
there
it's
you go.
11-5, 11-5, 11-4.
Yeah, that's a mauling, Dan.
Without a power play being used by the Mavericks, and only requiring 1 power play from the Pembroke Panthers to give them that 1-point lead again now in this match. And that was an important match as well, because when you've got 2 games to win the whole title, puts you in a good position. So there we are. It's
very, very. I think the term, a very professional, solid performance from Sarah Boyle and Adam McAllister. I genuinely thought that game would be closer, but I think what you're probably seeing there is, I think Adam probably had far more experience and knowledge of how to play mixed, maybe than his opponent, Dylan, who was more of a singles player. And I also think that Sarah Boyle really won the battle in the forecourt there.
She did. She was rock solid the whole way through. She challenged the net, was brave on it. She intercepted really well, found that channel left-hand side. Nothing came through, and then Adam pressed on the far side. So it's really fantastic to see.
I'm sure the kettle will be put on down in Roscommon at this stage, Dan, would you say? If she's still listening, she'll be proud of the young fella, as the fella says. Catherine, did you proud tonight? Did really, really well. The West is awake, as they say,
Yeah, I know, and it's now a bit of pressure on MP to step up for their next match, and it'll be an interesting one, as we have O'Marin coming onto the court. Nasty is back on court now for her mixed doubles after playing in the singles earlier against David Walsh and Michelle Shokin.
So again, I'm going to ask you to call this before I do.
For me, I think David Walsh and Michelle Shokin would be the favourites for this one.
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
And potentially can win the overall match.
Yeah.
With this game. Owen originally was down to play with Orla Flynn, and I think that could have been a really close matchup. I think Anastasia and Owen will put up a good fight here, though, because both of them are fighters. Anastasia's huge power from the backcourt. Owen is really good for making unpredictable moves, especially in mixed. I've played a lot of mixed against Owen, and he's an extremely hard worker on court, covers huge areas. So anytime you think you've got to win.
He's a really, really good badminton player as well, Mr. Guy Wheeler is in the chair tonight, and ably assisted by Yara Castillo.
Yeah, so a must-win match for Mount Pleasant Mavericks, and an opportunity to win the overall tie for Pembroke Panthers. So once again, big thanks for everyone who's tuned in for our stream. Again, if you need any shout outs or want us to give you a mention, feel free to reach out to us. It's been great to see the comments coming in and the people who are watching from around the country.
And overseas in Finland.
Absolutely, and the Juha tuning in from Finland. I wonder, is Juha still hoping for a Mount Pleasant victory here, or is it going to have the same fate that he suffered last year, where Pembroke took the spoils, despite his win in the doubles?
Well, it's looking very much like a Pembroke win at this stage. It really is, but you know what? Stranger things have happened. I mean, the third mixed, if it goes to it, is Senan O'Rourke and Amira Pender will play Nate and Ling Yu Gong. So, I mean,
wow, that would be a great match to watch as well.
That would be a great way to finish this, but I'm sure Pembroke will be hoping David and Michelle just get it done now, please.
Yeah, so it's all on the line here for Mount Pleasant, and I'm sure they're happy that they've got Omarin out there in this match, because Owen will add a good deal of experience, and he'll fight for every single point.
Absolutely.
So I know Mount Pleasant are really keen to get their first BPL victory, having been in so many finals and performed so well each year throughout the competition.
Yeah.
And this year on the league table they were streaks ahead, and I think they win all of their matches. So it's a shame when you lose the last match of the championships, but they're still very much in this one with a good pairing here and a very good pairing in their final game if it goes to it. So here we go. 3 games to 2.
Yeah, I think we're both called
Pembroke for this one.
Pembroke for this one, yeah.
So if Pembroke are to win this, that means I have won the battle of the predictions over Michael O'Mara.
Yeah. But I'm big enough to take that on the chin, Dan, you know. I've no issue with that. I just call it as I see it.
As you have said, though, you got the prediction right last year on the men's doubles, so we all have our moments to shine.
Yeah, she does really hit it, Dan, for someone who's not 6 foot tall. She does really hit it.
Yeah, she's strong, very strong, and puts a lot of work into her physical training. She does her gym twice a week in the Irish Institute of Sport, or the Sport Ireland Institute, should I say, out there in Blanchardstown. Coach Johnny Harris Wright is in a really strong strength and conditioning program, and them starting to do this from a younger age will really stand to them in the future.
Yeah, it's very important. And I mean, for me, I've been abroad, as you know, many times with the underage teams, at Europeans in particular, and I would have to say one of the very important areas is to be physically strong. You know, it's so important.
There was a brilliant move from David, but equally a smart play from one where he just probed it just past him and then forced Michelle and David to run into each other. But already you can see Dave looking to control that mid-court and be aggressive and come forward. Interestingly enough, both Michelle and Anastasia will be comfortable to drift off the net, so you might see a match where the men are pushing forward and having to cut out a bit more than the stereotypical mixed doubles that we're used to watching. Yeah, as you see there, Michelle comfortable at the back of the court. David patient.
I think it's important that when David is at the net, particularly when Michelle is on the forehand side, rear court, that he's looking, if it's anywhere short, to step out of her way and encourage her forward so they can rotate, because they're definitely stronger with him at the back.
Yeah.
But it's nip and tuck, Dan, so far, 4-all.
Yeah, good game so far.
A very good That's fantastic defence.
Yeah,
Fantastic
Anastasia did great.
defence.
She saved 3-4, and then again a really clever smash because Anastasia was defending a little bit right leg forward,
Yeah,
so
but
Dave just
I
pinned
think
her.
it was brave as well because she was maybe even standing off court. It is a lovely half court push from Michelle.
And again, Dave just controlling that mid-court, playing down.
And you see David there very cleverly lifting Anastasia out of the lane, which is always the clever option.
So 7-4 lead here for Walsh and Shokan. 8-4.
Yeah, I think David Walsh is showing his class, you know, his experience here. He really is. Just needed to be a little more forward, David.
Yeah, like in my opinion, Owen and Anastasia can win maybe the more scrappier rallies, where David and Michelle will have that little bit more structure and more controlled winners. But again, you see, it shows there that Michelle's more so a singles-minded player because she plays a little push and then steps back and takes the one of these over her head. But David knows that, so he lets her do it and then covers her at the front.
Are we going for a power play? Yes, we are.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to get that first game on the board.
It's nice to see Michelle looking to David there because she was very aware of the power play, which is, you know, for someone so young, it's good that she's aware of that.
Nice by David again. See that probing in the midcourt. It's just how Mick should be played.
Yeah.
Early on the mid, and he's pushing to one point of the shoulder to the other point of the shoulder till he gets the chance then just to knock off. But very much in the driving seat, Pembroke Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think David Walsh is, you know, he was telling me earlier on he's just about to finish his masters and he'll be looking to go teaching hopefully secondary in September. But you know, fantastic player, and in fairness, the West over the years has produced some fantastic players. I mean, David's from Ballina in Mayo. Wouldn't be a hotbed of badminton, but I mean, my gosh, he is a fantastic player, you know.
Yeah, I had a good opportunity to work with these kids when they were young, Jonathan Dolan, David Walsh, and that when we were training down in Sligo Tennis Club in a little Connacht squad for a number of their earlier years, and both these players have gone on and done big things in badminton and national champions and very, very talented players, as is Adam McAllister from that area as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see now can Owen try and take control of the game, maybe try and isolate Dave away from you know, dictating that front court. You see the way he's playing there to Dave. I would like to see him try and put Michelle, any chance he has to get Michelle on the back line, get her there and try and do something. He's just getting a little bit too much of the shuttle so far. Great move from Michelle.
Yeah. I was just going to say I would like to see Michelle step forward into the forecourt and look to play, you know, a block, or in that case a cross-court block. That's very unlucky for Michelle. Just wide.
She did the right thing again. 2-1 to Marin.
Very good, very, very simple, safe return of serve there from Michelle.
Anastasia had the chance to kill it off there, but what I liked was she just played a probing shot that set up Owen then to come and finish it. Like what we said in their singles earlier, although a lot of time maybe her shots weren't winning, but she was keeping it in play, which is gives you the chance to win.
Would like to see David press Anastasia serve a bit more and really just
the little right foot stance is catching her then, which she gets hit on the hip.
Yeah, it needs to be the right leg needs to be behind the left leg, just to give herself a bit of room.
Great job, Owen. He saw David sneaking. He had the slippers on, but Owen's vision was there. He saw him and just turned it across. So 4-3 here. Interesting second game.
Yeah, let's be aggressive.
Going for a bit of flair.
Going for the spectacular, not once but twice. Paid off, Dan.
Yeah, that's what I like about Owen. It's probably not the orthodox shot, but he's trying to do something different to take them out of their structure, and then making that fast move onto the net. So great speed there.
It was good.
Yeah, it looked like it was going long.
Looked like it was going long, yeah.
Maybe a little miss hit from Michelle where she hit it a bit flatter than what she had hoped for, but it just sealed over Owen's rack. Yeah, a bit of a wild smash there out the side.
I think a bit of an experience. The shot there, correct shot there is to hit Michelle.
Do you think we're going to see power play soon from Mount P, Mike?
I think you will soon. If they win the next shot, I would go for it.
Nice by Owen there, controlling it really well. Just a miscommunication and gap in the middle there.
I'd probably go for the power play now, Dan.
As Pembroke?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, just to finish that second set. Owen is doing a good job where he's trying to keep Dave off the shuttle. He's using the clears now more and that. But Dave's staying patient, and the good thing about Michelle, she'll work and work and work until she has the opportunity. Not using the power play here, interesting.
Very good, Michelle. I always think that particular shot there, Dan, he played to the net. When you play to the net, it's always a very high-risk shot. He'd be better off playing to the short service line. In other words, get it and play.
Yeah, just keep it safe.
If you play to the net, one of two things will happen.
Oh, Dave missed it on that one.
The opponent will kill it, or you could hit it into the net.
Good choice by Omar for two reasons. One, they really need to get this game. They can't afford to go 2-0 down. And two, if he wins it, it'll be 9-9, and he's serving to Michelle, who's not pressing the serve as hard as Dave is. So then he'd be serving to Michelle again. There we go, 9-9, and now he's back serving to Michelle. Where if he used it at 8 or 6, then he's serving on Dave, and Dave's really pressing the serve at the minute.
And of course, he's got Michelle again.
Yeah, that's it. Brilliant use of the play, right time, smart by Omar. And that's what we said. And again, you see he's keeping the shuttle away from Dave. Yeah. Really good. Really taking control and charge of the game. Absolutely fantastic from Omar. He's just hit a real purple patch here. Controlling the game, serving well. And suddenly it's game point Mavericks. Oh, that was a high one.
But I'd like to see
double game point here.
I would like to see them both target. Like Owen is out.
Oh no. Just a miscommunication. I think in a stereotypical mixed, when Owen presses hard to the long box like that and it goes high, his partner would let him take that. But Anastasia in ladies doubles is really comfortable at the back of the court. So Owen maybe should have just let her hit that smash and been a bit more patient.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take them all, But
10-10, I suppose you just really want to try and win that point at all costs. So
yeah, but I think to Owen Marin there, I mean, you have to give him credit for trying to do what he did tactically. He was brilliant. He played it brilliant. It just the only thing was it didn't come off, and some days it won't come off. But I thought that was a very impressive play from Owen Marin. Very impressive.
Yeah, he played them back into that game. And he got them all the way back to You know, 9-9, and then a good serve at 9-9 to go game point. So, but here we go. If Pembroke win this one, it'll be game, set, and match. If not, it'll be game back on for the Mavericks.
I'd like to see Michelle leave her, be a little more up court in her defence. Really deep.
Anastasia doing really well, doing her role at the front of the court, and Owen is supercharged at the minute. He's putting everything into this.
Yep.
Oh, it's good. Really impressed by the Mavericks now. They've turned this around well. Owen hunting the shuttle, and Anastasia doing her job at the front.
Yeah, she's doing really well. She's doing really, really well. And I'm sure Willie is behind the court just willing her on, forgive the pun.
Yeah, she's a massively improved player from when she first started playing for Mount Pleasant until now, where she's playing in Premier League finals. She's just come on leaps and bounds, and I know that's down to all the hard work that she does in Mount Pleasant, which is a fantastic club for producing a number of top players. Oh,
They should have put that on the floor.
yeah.
They played a stop block there. Just as we said in one of the previous matches, I think when Dylan was playing mixed, if it's half court, you hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's again a good aggressive press onto the body, and this time we're putting up on the smash.
It's the low risk play. Take it early, hit the man in the body, center of the court, just attack.
It's a good rally.
Just think David, when Michelle is attacking, needs to be able to get involved. That's a
good shot.
beautiful shot.
4-3. Power plays in this game are going to be crucial to the outcome of the match. That's it, went for again.
So even Stephen, 4-all.
Had the privilege of playing for Pembroke in a BPL final. It was under the guidance of Brian Coughlin. Brian Coughlin was the Pembroke manager and managed the club in Pembroke for many years.
That must be a few years ago, because I don't know that name.
Yeah, so Brian, he's been heavily involved in the start of the club, along with Lisa O'Rourke, and Lisa, of course, still now the manager of the team and helping out, and a great night for her with Shannon featuring and doing so well. But it's a club that's racked up a good few BPL titles at this point.
Yeah, I think I know Liza particularly well. She's one of the she was on the board up until last year, and she's now a member of the high performance committee and contributes very, very well to that. So she knows her badminton, and is a very, very good. Like lots of people, she really does do a lot of work, a lot of volunteering.
And it looks like they've got the format of their team right again, which is a big thing in the finals night. How you feel your team, because a lot of the times you see the reverse at the finals night, where they win the match during the league to get to the final, but then lose it on the finals night. The same fixture, and so a lot of the times the same list of players. So
David went for the flick there to Anastasia, and she hit it straight smash, and it's 7-all.
Good serve across the body, made David have to change his grip. Good
and
choice.
There we see it again, the experience, the know-how to be able to, when is the right time to use the power play, and he didn't hesitate, Dan. He knew.
No, Owen's an extremely clever player like that, or Anastasia, whoever made the call on it.
And again, the serve across the body.
Look at that. Good defense, has to be said. 8-8. And what about the power play now on this side? Yeah, it's the right choice.
That's a case of anything you can do.
Well, here we go. Like, it's 8-8, and you got the chance then to serve
the serve and play.
Serve for the match. And there it is. Match point, championship point, BPL final point.
20-25.
Will Pembroke be the winner again this year? Oh, neck cord. Oh, what a scrape back from Omar. Amazing. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Pembroke are champions again.
Yeah, and I have to say, Dan, what a fantastic night for badminton put on again by Leinster Badminton. It's been a great showcase with, you know, top players on show. It's been streamed. We've had people around the country coming back in with comments telling us they've been enjoying it, and you know, in the words of Donald Trump, I think people are really loving it, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a fantastic final there tonight. A lot of the matches going the way that we expected them to go, but a lot of hard-fought matches as well.
Absolutely.
And again, you know, Dylan Noble given Mount Pleasant the lead at the start.
And did incredibly well, Dan, I have to say. Did incredibly well to pull that out.
Absolutely, because, you know, this final could have been finished a lot quicker if he didn't take that key game. Ladies doubles rock solid from Kate Frost and Ling Yu, but a good performance from the younger players in that one. Mixed doubles, dominant display from McAllister and Boyle.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
you definitely called that right, Dan. You definitely called that mix right. But you know, and it's going to be nice now to see
the BPL balloons coming in there, and we saw Vinoy from Oscar Travels as well, who support through the sponsorship, and
just hope he can spell it right and get it in the right order.
Yeah,
there you go. Be nice to see. No, he's got him the wrong way around. No, he hasn't. But it's going to be nice to see.
Picture opportunity here for the Pembroke Panthers. Shout out from Leona. Thanks for the commentary, Michael and Dan. Very happy to provide you with the commentary here tonight, and it's a joy to do when you've got Phil McCone doing the stream.
Yeah, it's been.
Don't know if that was Phil having a joke with me or not. There, he cut me off just as I said that.
Yeah, I think he's been doing it deliberately, Dan, just to keep us on our toes, you know.
Absolutely. So you've had the stream and the backup stream running tonight, but a lot of work goes into setting up these events, and not only just tonight, but throughout the year.
And it's all voluntary.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's.
Oh, we're not getting a paycheck tonight, Mike? No.
Well, you're not.
Okay. But yeah, it's fantastic, and you see Joe Byrne, Vinoy, and you see Thomas Bohan down there along with Dave Murphy. These guys here every week that the BPL is on do a fantastic job, and you know they'll really push this event on as it goes on throughout the years. So there'll be big celebration for Pembroke Panthers there. I know the winners get a check, and a lot of the time the check ends up behind the bar. So let's see what happens there tonight for the Pembroke Panthers. Do they enjoy celebrating their win over the Mount Pleasant map? So thanks very much for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up there as the presentations get underway. So final score, Pembroke Panthers beating Mount Pleasant Mavericks 4-2, 14 games to 6 and 194 points to 151. So once again, thanks very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Mike, and hopefully
Yeah, likewise, Dan. Likewise.
we can do it again on the chair.
Yeah, do we need to just request a flyby before we wrap it up?
Yeah, this is Mav requesting a flyby. So guys, thanks very much again for tuning in. Pembroke Panthers are your winners this year. Big thanks to the streaming and to the court officials and for all those volunteers that put all the time into this event. And we'll see you again for the BPL finals, hopefully this time next year.
Thanks a million.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have it for 24-25 BPL winners. Let's hear it for ladies and gentlemen, BPL winners, Pembroke Panthers. We just need an opportunity to see what this is. But on behalf of the BPL protocols, I'd like to thank all the support you've given us through the season, you know, through the NCS budget. It's been a great success. Thank you very much. We've done everything. So let's Thank you.